In 2007, members of the Food and Drink Federation pledged to make a real difference to the environment. As part of FDF's five-fold environmental ambition, they're focusing on carbon emissions, water use, factory waste, packaging and transport. Here are some of their stories.
Our business is founded on three main principles, and it's industry, land and community, all supporting each other. Sustainability to us is about sustainability of a profitable business going forward while being responsible ancestors, so that we can continue to drive profit flows that allows us to reinvest in the business, that benefits the community, and that the investments that we make are sympathetic to the community and the environmental needs.
It's very much an objective of our environmental management system that we reduce, or we aim to reduce pollution, and that includes reducing our carbon dioxide emissions. And in the case of the biomass plant, we've reduced our carbon dioxide emissions by about 2,100 tonnes per year. So that fits very much in with our aims and objectives of the company to reduce its environmental impact. What we had previously was two fuel oil boilers which burned kerosene and supplied steam to the factory, and we've now replaced that with one biomass boiler that burns wood chips. We class it as a carbon neutral fuel. When a tree is growing, it uses up carbon dioxide. It's then cut down, we get some of the offcuts here and we burn them. And while it does give out carbon dioxide, the two balance each other out, and it means that we're not actually putting out any additional carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The steam produced from the plant is used throughout the factory. Primarily it's used in the UHT process, but it's also used in our paste and powder processes, our development process as well, and some of it is used for space heating. We're currently looking at other ways of using some of the excess steam on site, for example heating buildings or using it for other purposes as well. The chips come from a local sawmill where they make pallets. All the wood comes from local forests where possible, and it's also sustainable forests as well. The biomass boiler is more efficient than the system that we had before, and we've got a lot better control over it. We have more metering in place, so we know what steam we're using, and we're able to target the areas that we know are a problem as well.
We were the first food business in Scotland to have a biomass boiler. We are going to erect 2 or 3 wind turbines. We're going to be self-sufficient in heat and power. But the purpose isn't necessarily to be green, it is cost effective.
Dealing with our waste is very important to us. We have organic waste that we send away, and that gets turned into compost. We have fat that gets collected from the cooking process, and that gets turned into biodiesel, not by us but by a refiner. We segregate our plastic and paper at source now. We've worked very hard to reduce our landfill waste, and we're now 88% landfill free, and we're hoping to achieve 100%. This year we're engaging with the Business Environmental Partnership. They have an environmental placement program. Once I get the right student, we're going to do a feasibility study on designing and installing a water harvesting plant. And once we have the infrastructure in place, this will allow me to collect water for free. We'll probably heat it with heat recovery from our refrigeration equipment and wash the contaminated plastic, and that will allow me to bale at least another 10 tonnes of plastic. The advice I'd give to other companies about really being serious about how green they are and sustainable they are is that it's not rocket science. Some of the stuff's very simple to introduce. It's so much easier to be ahead of the game and already doing it rather than being forced to do it. There's a lot of help out there to do the sort of things that we've already done. There are free audits available. We've taken advantage of those. The Scottish Food and Drink Federation, we're offering one through an independent auditing company. EnviroWise are doing an audit, the Carbon Trust are doing an audit, and they see where potentially savings can be made. We do a lot with schools and universities. We usually have every year a student placement programme, as well as the placement programme through the Business Environmental Partnership. This will be our third year now that we've worked with them, taking on a student for 10 weeks, and we decide what the placement is going to be. This year it's water harvesting, last year it was reduction of utilities, and the year before we were looking at reducing water consumption.
Environmental issues are massively important for us here at Pinneys, not just for ourselves but for our customer Marks and Spencer. They have what they call Plan A because there is no Plan B. The key things for us as part of our strategy is to reduce our carbon footprint year on year, and we're successfully achieving that. We're operating at around about 18% reduction, and that includes reductions on utilities, and on average we're about 11% reduced on usage year on year there as well. So it's all helping the environment. We have a dedicated resource that actually looks after that on site.
I'm the Continuous Improvement Manager here at Pinneys of Scotland. I'm in charge of the lean rollout across the site. We have a cross-functional team, so that does take into consideration departments such as technical, planning, purchasing, engineering, as well as commercial, MPD, logistics, and the factory managers for both low care and high care. Essentially, lean is all about creating flow within the workplace and the minimisation of waste, the 7 wastes, which are transport, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects. So it's all about just understanding where these wastes are applied within the day-to-day operations. It's all about filtering down and creating ideas at the shop floor. What we're trying to do is tap into that expertise and knowledge and work with them, give them tools and techniques about delivering change within the business. Success of the programme is tracked upon our performance of labour meal variances as well as waste and service levels. The yield and labour variance for the last half of 2008, so H2 of 2008, we delivered 11.5k savings week on week from where we're performing for the first half of 2008. That has since been improved 3k, again ahead of where we're performing this time last year. So that's around about a 3.2% operational gain.
These are just a few of the ways in which FDF members are delivering on their ambition to minimise their impact on the environment. To find out more about our 5-fold environmental ambition, visit our website at www.fdf.org.uk.